Hello, dear students. Students, today we are going to start lesson 8, The Hack Driver by Sinclair Lewis from our supplementary reader, Footprints Without Feet. And The Hack Driver is an interesting short story. It's a story with a surprise twist. The most interesting character in the story is a hack driver. The way he makes a fool of a young lawyer is the subject of the story. The young lawyer comes to a village to serve summons on Oliver Lutkins. The hack driver takes him round the village in search of Lutkins, but Lutkins is nowhere to be found. At the end of the story, we find out that the hack driver himself is Lutkins. Thus, the ending of the story makes us laugh heartily. It's a funny story. So, read and find out. You will go through the chapter and firstly find the answers of the given questions. Why is the lawyer sent to New Mullion? What does he first think about the place? Who befriends him? Where does he take him? What does he say about Lutkins? So let's continue now. After graduating with honors, I became a junior assistant clerk in a magnificent law firm. I was sent not to prepare legal briefs but to serve summons like a cheap private detective. Now, this man, the narrator, he is saying that after completing his graduation with honors, he became a junior assistant clerk in a magnificent, big, famous law firm, and he was sent not to prepare legal briefs, legal work, legal cases, but to serve summons like a cheap private detective. But he was given the work to serve summons. Summons mean court orders, like a private detective. And I had to go to dirty and shadowy corners of the city to seek out my victims. And he had to go to dirty and shadowy corners of the city to meet you can say, meet the people whom he was going to serve those summons. Victims mean some of the larger and more self confident ones even beat me up, and he has been beaten by some witnesses also. I hated this unpleasant work. He didn't like that work, and the side of the city life is revealed to me. And he also didn't like that the side of the city which he came to know now. I even considered fleeing to my hometown where I could have seen a real liar right away without going through this unpleasant training period. Now, I even consider sometimes he thought of fleeing. Fleeing mean running away, to run away to his hometown where he could have been a real lawyer right away without going through this unpleasant training period. He didn't like to go through that training period. So I rejoiced one day when they sent me out 40 miles in the country to a town called New Million to serve summons on a man called Oliver Lutkins. So one day when he got a chance to go to a town called New Million, where he has to serve summons to a man called Oliver's. He liked that trip. He was happy on going to that town. Now we needed this man as a witness in a law case and had ignored all our letters. Now this man, Oliver Lutkins, he was needed as a witness in a law case, and he was not responding. He was ignoring all the letters they have sent. Now, when I got to New Million, my eager expectations of a sweet and simple country village were severely disappointed. So he thought that this, town, so it would be good. But when he went there, New Million, his eager expectations of a sweet and simple country village were severely disappointed. He got disappointed to see that area. Its streets were rivers of mud, too much mud was there, and with rows of wooden shops. Wooden shops were there, either painted a sore brown or wear of any paint at all. So these shops, some are either painted a sore brown, either they were brown in color or bare of any paint at all, or they were not painted, those shops. The only agreeable sight about the place was the delivery man at the station. Only he liked a man uh, at the station, that was delivery man. Okay, he was about 40, red faced, cheerful, and thick about the middle. So this man, delivery man, he was about 40. His face was red and cheerful, and he was thick, fat, you can say. Okay, his working clothes were dirty and well worn, and he had a friendly manner. Now this man, his clothes were dirty, but well worn. He was well dressed, and he was a friendly person, friendly man. He felt at once that he liked people. So firstly, as the young lawyer, he saw him, he thought that delivery man, he was a people loving person. I told him to find a man named Oliver Letkins. Now the narrator told that delivery man that he wanted to meet a man whose name is Oliver Letkins. Now, Letkins, I saw him around here about an hour ago. Now, this man, delivery man, he told him that he had seen Letkins an hour ago there. Hard fellow to catch enough, always up to something or other. So, this delivery man, he told him that it's difficult to find, to catch Lutkins because he is always busy in this or that work. He is probably trying to start up a poker game in the back of Fritz's shop. Poker game, it's card game a card game in which bluffs is used as player bet on the value of their cards. So he's told about Lutkin that he must be playing poker game in the back of Fritz shop. Fritz shop means some person, Fritz. I'll tell you, boy, is there any hurry about locating Lutkins. So if you want to find Lutkins, that you have to go to Fritz shop. Yes, I want to catch the afternoon train back to the city. I was very important and secret about it. And he said yes, he want to meet him, he want to catch him as soon as possible because he has to go back to the city by that afternoon train, and he was having a very important and secret mission work, you can say. Okay, I'll tell you what. I have got the hack. I'll get it out and we can drive around together and find Letkins. I know most of the places he hangs out. Now this delivery man, he said that he would he brought a hack, that carriage you can see in the picture, and said that he knew many places where they could find Lutkins, and he offered him to sit in that hack. He was so open and friendly that I glowed with the warmth of his affection. Now, the narrator is saying that man was so friendly that he was quite happy with his cheerfulness. Okay, he was attracted by the warmth of his affection. I knew, of course, that he wanted the business, but his kindness was real. So, the narrator is saying definitely he was, doing his business to carry the passengers, but he was also kind, and this, young lawyer, he liked his kindness. I was glad the fair money would go to this good fellow. So he was also happy that whatever money he would give him, okay, or the money he would charge, at least that money would go to a good fellow, that is that delivery man. I managed to bargain down to $2 an hour, and then he brought from his house nearby a sort of large black box on wheels. He remarked, well, young man, here's the carriage, and his wide smile made me into an old friend. Now, even the narrator, he bargained with him, okay, and he agreed for $2 an hour, and then he brought from his house nearby a sort of large box on wheel. You can see that hack, okay, and he remarked, and he also said, "Well, young man, here's the carriage. Here is our carriage." Heck, and his wide smile made me into an old friend, and he gave that smile, wide smile, as the narrator felt him just like an old friend. These villagers are so ready to help a stranger. He had already made it his own task to find Oliver Lutkins for me. And the narrator is saying that villagers, they are always ready to help the strangers, and this man, okay, he also got ready to find Oliver Lutkins for the narrator. He said, "I don't want to interfere, young fellow, but my guess is that you want to collect some money from Lutkins." Now, this man, delivery man, or the hack driver, he said, "I don't want to interfere, that I don't have anything to do with, but I think that you came here to collect money from Lutkins, to take your money back." It means he never pays anybody's cent, and he doesn't give any money to anyone. He still owes me 50 cents on a poker game I was fool enough to play with him. Now he said that, and he has to give me 50 cents on a poker game, and I was fool enough to play with. And he was also cursing himself that he was a fool to play with him. He is not really bad, but it's hard to make him part with his money. Now he's saying even that man Lutkins, he is not a bad man, but it's difficult to separate him from his money or to take money from him. If you try to collect from him in those fancy clothes, he will be suspicious and get away from you. So he's also saying that if you are uh, to take some money from him, then if he would found you in these fancy clothes which he has worn, this lawyer, he would be doubtful and run away from you. So if you want, I'll go into Fritz and ask him, and you can keep out of sight behind me. So he also said that okay, he would not come to closer to you. So if you want to go to him, okay, you if you want to meet him, if you want, then I'll go to Fritz, the man whose shop, on whose shop they are going to search him. Now this hack driver, he said, "I'll go to him, and you just stay back behind me, you don't come, otherwise he will run away." I loved him for this. By myself I might never have found Lutkins. And the narrator is saying that he loved this man's generosity, because he would never found him all alone. With the hack driver's knowing help, I was sure of getting my man. And the narrator was sure that with the help of this uh, hack driver, he would definitely meet that man. I took him into my confidence and told him that I wanted to serve the summons on Lutkins. Now the narrator took this man into his confidence and told him that he had come to serve summons, to give court orders to Lutkins, that the man had refused to be a witness when his information would have quickly settled our case. So he said that because he had come to give him court orders, because he was refusing to be a witness, okay, but if he would be witness, he would give his statement, then their case would be settled very soon. The driver instead the driver listened earnestly, and that cab driver, that hack driver, he listened everything carefully. At the end, he hit me on the shoulder and laughed. "Well, we will give brother Lutkins a little surprise." Okay, so he said, okay, he kept his hands on the narrator's shoulder and said, "Okay, brother, don't worry, we will give him a little surprise. Let's start, driver." So let's start. Most folks around here call me Bill or Magnuson. My business is called William Magnuson Fancy Carting and Hacking. So he told the narrator that people over here, they call me Bill, or Magnuson and his business. It is also known as William Magnus Fancy Catering and Hacking. All right, Will, shall we proceed to Fritz? Now they say the narrator said, "Okay, Bill, very correct. Let us go to Fritz now." So that's all for today. Rest will take afterwards.